Welcome students of Standard 9 to the History and Civics class. Today I am going to continue with the same chapter, our Constitution, with the subtopics, the most important committee, that is the drafting committee, the chairman of the drafting committee, the various readings to draft the Constitution, the time taken, then the significance of 26th January. To begin with the drafting committee. As I told you earlier that the Constituent Assembly was set up with the task of making the Indian Constitution. This Constituent Assembly was set up before independence, when India was not divided between India and Pakistan. The drafting committee was set up after independence, when India was divided between India and Pakistan. The head of the Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad, but the head of the drafting committee was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Constituent Assembly was set up with the task of making the Constitution and assigning various other rights and duties and forming various other committees to carry out the proper functioning of India as a separate country away from the British rule. The drafting committee was set up. It was one of the committees within the Constituent Assembly, and it was assigned with the task of framing the laws, to incorporate the laws which would be a set of rules for the government of India and the Indian citizens. Now, under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, this drafting committee was set up. So, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he took special attention to give privileges and civil rights and liberties to the people who were socially and educationally backward. That is the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and various other communities in India which were politically and socially backward. Now, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he incorporated various goals in the Constitution, like the directive principles, the fundamental rights, independent judiciary, single citizenship, and various civil rights, safeguards and liberties to the socially and educationally backward citizens of India, that is the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and the minorities. Now, the reading that took place while framing the Indian Constitution, it went through various readings, various meetings, and a number of sessions. And finally, the Constitution was given shape with all rights and duties and principles incorporated in it through which underwent various discussions, sessions, meetings, etc. And it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to frame the Indian Constitution. And finally, on 26 November 1949, the Constitution was adopted in India. Adopted means it was, some parts of the Constitution was enacted, means it came into force, it was put into practice. And adopted means it was adopted by the Indian citizens, and it was adopted by the Constituent Assembly and by all the freedom fighters who were the members of the Constituent Assembly. The members who signed the Constitution in the process of adoption were 284, and it was for the Indian people, not for the Muslim League or for Pakistan. It was for India. This Constitution, it was enacted and adopted by the Indian citizens. Then Once it was enacted and adopted, it had to be implemented. 26 January was chosen as the day for implementation of the Indian Constitution because on this day, for the first time, the Indians or the freedom fighters made a call for complete independence, that is Purn Swaraj, in the year 1930 at the Lahore session. At the Lahore session, the freedom fighters, they decided and demanded for complete freedom from the Britishers. So, on 26 January 1950, our constitution was enforced by 384 members who signed the constitution. And 15th August 1947 as celebrated as Independence Day and 26 January 1950 as Republic Day. Thank you. I